Evening peeps, good evening everyone. Guys, this is so random, unboxing related, but I have to start with this. Yesterday night I watched Top Gun 2. Now, I don't know if you're a Tom Cruise fan or not, but I don't care. Go and watch the film. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Now, if you're of my age or a bit older and you remember Top Gun, this might be better. I don't want to say, I think a few people say this 100% better. I don't know about that. It might be better. Top Gun was an incredible film. This is also very much incredible. It really is. And I was thinking, like, of all the big proper Hollywood superstars, so none of these fucking Marvel actors, don't get me wrong, there are some good ones, but none of these, like real good Hollywood superstars, Tom Cruise might be one of the last ones. And then it's funny because as I watched it, I then watched a trailer for, I think it was Mission Impossible 7. Fuck, I can't wait for that to come out as well. Honestly, Tom Cruise is kicking ass. So yeah, very unboxing related, but I had to share it with you. Go and watch the film if you haven't seen it. 10 out of 10. What you also need to do for me, please, is follow me on Instagram. Please, Ade Oladipo. I mentioned it on yesterday's video, and I think nearly 200 of you followed me, so really appreciate it. We haven't yet hit 7,000. We're very, very close. So if you please have an Instagram, you haven't followed me, follow me. It is, as I said yesterday, a necessary evil, but I do put out some good content on there, behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, I am going to the press conference for Chisora Pulev on Thursday. I'll put all stuff behind the scenes that you guys won't normally see. And obviously, I'm covering the fight on Saturday. Finally, before we talk Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, thank you for all the feedback about me getting the gig for Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna, July 16th. I should know that. Look, you know what? Firstly, thank you. Thank you very, very much. And hopefully what it does to a lot of you guys that are like me, you know, no journalist background and just jumped into this thing, hopefully it motivates you to know that shit can happen. Like, shit can happen. It might take a longer time than traditional journalists, but if you grind, like really, really grind, you can fucking get there. If I can get there, trust me, you can get there. And there's a lot of people out there that I see grinding. G-Man grinds. G-Man fucking flew himself over from Ireland to the Joe Joyce Christian Hamer press conference. That's grinding. October Red grinds. Punch Perfect, Chris Andre, Undefeated Podcast guys. A lot of people out there grinding, and they will get their flowers. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's talk about Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. They came face to face once again, but finally we have a date, September 10th, I think it is, right, at the O2. And there was a lot of talk about it being up north. I met Clarissa a few weeks ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know that. But I met her a few weeks ago, and she was like, no, the fight will be in London. And she gets her wish. I wonder what kind of numbers it's going to do. Will it sell out the O2? I mean, they're really promoting it. They're pushing it. So they're giving it, you know, the best possible chance. The undercard or the co-main event will be Alycia Baumgardner versus Mikaela. That's ridiculous, by the way. Honestly, that's fantastic. Like, if you was to ask me to pick the 3 female fights that I'm desperate to see, it would have been a toss-up between Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, and Katie Taylor-Serrano. But number 3 definitely would have been Baumgardner versus Mikaela. So whatever way you want to put it, they've got number 1 and 3 or number 2 and 3. And they're doing them on the same day, same card, and not pay-per-view. Not pay-per-view. This is like a declaration of war to Matchroom and DAZN. I thought, and I've said this hundreds of times, so apologies for repeating myself. I thought when Matchroom left Sky, and look, to be fair, I spoke to a few reporters at Sky at the time that were like, you know what, maybe the boxing's done. You know, Sky spends so much money on football, like millions on football. You know, I don't know what kind of numbers the boxing does for them. Maybe it's best served to let others do the boxing. BT Sport, Channel 5, DAZN, etc. But they said no. They said, no, we're going to go for it. And they are going for it. Going for it. I mean, again, Liam Smith announcement the other day, Chris Billam-Smith versus Isaac Chamberlain. Say what you want about that fight, you know, making waves internationally. For us, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Chris Eubank Jr. will probably fight Liam Smith. Sign me up. And then you've got Joseph Parker. And we wait to see what Joseph Parker is going to do. Really and truly, you've got the Michael Hunter fight sitting right there. They should make that fight right now. So Sky ain't going away. But I think this is already shaping up to be a fantastic card. There are whispers about it being an all-female card, which I don't think you need to do. if I'm honest with you. I understand what they're trying to do. Like, you know, we're pushing female boxing. Here you go, female card. I don't think you need to do it. I don't think you need to separate the two. You can put some really good male fights on that card and it's going to be a good card. But I think the big thing is that it's not box office. Now, some of you might say it was never going to sell on box office, and to an extent, I agree with you. But when they said Alycia Baumgardner, Mikaela Maia, I 100% thought, okay, they're adding it to Clarissa Shields, Savannah, then it's going to be box office. But no, Sky have said we're going to keep it Saturday night. And look, I don't know where I am September 10th. I think I'm in the country. I know September 17th is GGG Canelo. I'll be flying out for that. But if I'm in the country, I'm definitely going and paying my ticket money. Well, I'll ask someone actually to get me a ticket. But I definitely want to be ringside or anywhere in the arena for these fights because I think they're fantastic. I've seen so many people going back and forth on who they think is going to win in the main event. Look, I've always been a big Clarissa Shields fan, and I'll say boxer versus puncher, and I'll pick the boxer, but Savannah Marshall can box as well. You know, she's no slouch, she can box, but she's obviously known as a puncher now. But I'd always edge towards the better boxer in these matchups. Can Clarissa get clipped and put away? I mean, Savannah's a big girl. Clearly the hardest hitting female fighter alongside Baumgardner and maybe Serrano as well. So, look, if Savannah clips her and, you know, more than clips her, lands a wonderful combination, then I guess Clarissa will go to sleep. But I think Clarissa has the boxing skills to survive. And let's not forget, survive what is 10 2-minute rounds. Not 12 twos, not 12 threes, 10 twos. And they go very, very quickly. So my money will be on Clarissa Shields. But look, it's a great matchup. It really is. And again, the co-main event's a great one as well. Having been around both Mikaela Maia and Alycia Baumgardner, Mikaela is so much bigger than her. It's incredible to say. I don't know how they both squeeze in, or I don't know how Mikaela Maia, should I say, squeezes into the 130 division. She's so much bigger. But we know that Baumgardner's got that punch power. So look, I think it's going to be fantastic. And I wouldn't be shocked if Mikaela Maia, Baumgardner steal the show. I don't know what the rest of the card is yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if they steal it because they're going to go for each other's throat when it comes to press conference time. Like, if you think the beef between Marshall and Clarissa is big, and it is big, but Marshall maybe doesn't come across as aggressive as Clarissa, Mikaela Maia and Baumgardner are both like fucking Rottweilers and they're going to go for each other. And again, congratulations to Sky. Congratulations. I mean, look, yes, I work for DAZN, but it's not going to stop me from giving plaudits to other broadcasters that put on good fights. I'm a boxing fan first and foremost, and I think this is a good one. And again, I think to make it free is fantastic for boxing fans. It really is. Frank Warren interested in exploring Deontay Wilder versus Joe Joyce clash. We have to wait and see. Look, Frank really's got a bit more like invested in this, just because obviously Tyson Fury's his guy, and the fact is he could speak to Tyson and say, okay, if you are retired, and you say you are, or even if you're not, speak to the WBC, and you could elevate Tyson Fury. And I don't like it, but you could elevate him, and then you could let Deontay Wilder versus Joe Joyce fight for the vacant belt. And don't get me wrong, I don't like the elevation shit, but I don't like a division being held up either. And right now, Tyson Fury is holding up the WBC part of that division. He is, because the number 1 and 2 ranked are Deontay Wilder and Joe Joyce. That's fact. And everyone would love to see Deontay Wilder, Joe Joyce. Everyone. Because we all know Joe Joyce has got this chin. And the question is, okay, can he handle the hardest hitting heavyweight we've seen in recent years? Could his chin take Wilder's punches? That's the question, right? So, look, that would be fascinating. Can I see it happening? No, I can't. I'm not going to bullshit you. I can't see it happening. But it would be fascinating to see. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Jessica McCaskill, not impressed with top female boxers, Taylor, Serrano and Maia. She should be, because Taylor's beat her already. Serrano's above her for me in the pound for pound rankings. And Mikaela Maia is very, very good as well. We'll see. We'll see. Anthony Joshua, definitely desperate to get my hands back on the titles. Yeah. Look, it's not even necessarily getting the hands back on the belts. And look, the belts are the reward for the win. But the most important thing is the win and the performance against Alexander Usyk. Look, right now, I mean, I think if you ask 100 boxing fans, the majority the majority here, I think maybe a 70-30, 80-20 split would side with Usyk. This is the task that's in front of AJ. It's a new trainer, different ideas. And then, you know, I guess, will he revert back to type when things start going bad? It's all, you know, drilled you've got to be to sort of listen to your trainer and things start to go a bit left field, and you don't then just revert to type. You don't just revert to the training that you've been doing with Rob McCracken for over 10 years. That's very, very difficult. So that's what's in front of AJ. That and the fact he's fighting, I think, the pound for pound number one. Ain't going to be easy, but winning back your belt shouldn't be easy. Andy Ruiz, as much as I thought it was a disciplined performance from AJ, Andy Ruiz made it easy, because Andy Ruiz clearly didn't train, came in overweight, looked awful. I will say this though, I'm going to do a video about Andy Ruiz sometime in the week. That fucker, if he can get himself down to, if he can get serious, this is Andy Ruiz I'm talking about, he's a problem. He's a problem. If he can get serious. If he can't, then it is what it is. But yeah, look, big one between AJ and Usyk, and we haven't got long to wait. August 20th, 5 weeks away. We don't have long to wait for that. Eddie Hearn, Spence Crawford is fight between elite champions. Canelo GGG is fight between legends. How do I feel about that? Spence Crawford is fight between elite champions. Is Spence or Crawford a legend? I kind of get what he's getting at here. I kind of understand. Some will kind of throw back and maybe say, I think GGG is a legend because I love him. But I know what some people are when they talk about GGG. I know they start saying things like B-level fighters, and when he stepped up to the A-level fighters, we saw problems. So I don't know, but I kind of understand what he's saying. You know, the interesting thing about this one is that obviously Eddie says things like Canelo GGG is a bigger fight, and I guess he's talking financially as well. I do believe if promoted correctly, like really given the correct, you know, the 24/7 type stuff, Spence Crawford, if someone can unlock, we've seen it with Crawford a little bit, where we've seen the personality, like, and I think we've seen it with Spence in recent times as well. If someone can just unlock that in Crawford, because I think Crawford, for some reason, when the cameras are on, especially when it's traditional media, you don't really see the real Crawford. But when it's like behind the scenes stuff and he doesn't even really notice whether it's a YouTube, there's a character there and he's fascinating. If someone can unlock that and then they make a 24/7 type thing, I'm telling you now, Spence Crawford will drag in all the casuals. Everyone will be fascinated by it. I think Spence Crawford, like if both were done at the same day, I'm saying, okay, if both fights were on the same day, I think more people would probably tune in for Spence Crawford. It's close, but I think more people are intrigued by that. But maybe I'm talking more boxing people. More casuals will probably tune into Canelo GGG, and that's probably why Eddie says it makes more money. Maybe. All right, do we have anything else to talk about? By the way, Andy Clark coming tomorrow. Very excited. I keep doing that because he's going to be sitting there. Very excited to have Andy Clark. Again, I'm trying to do more of these videos regularly. We are going to try and get Joe Joyce, but Andy Clark tomorrow. I really want to do one on Sunday because I know the other part of the week for me is going to be super busy, and then I fly out. But Andy Clark tomorrow, who's, I mean, the most knowledgeable guy in the world when it comes to boxing. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Andy Clark's about. What's this? McGuigan, a prime Josh Taylor beats Jack Catterall if he corrects mistakes. Okay. Well, look, McGuigan obviously knows Josh very well, trained Josh before, so he clearly knows the talent he has. Is it happening? Is it just talk, or is this fight actually going to happen next? It's now a big fight, isn't it? So look, we'll see. See what happens. But yeah, you know what I found very interesting? Sonny Edwards put out an Instagram story or a tweet saying, little break, and then when I come back, I'm training. I think he almost said training for the toughest fight of his life or the toughest camp or something. And I wonder what that's going to be. I wonder what that's going to be. Is it going to be Julio Cesar Martinez? Is it going to be Bam Bam Rodriguez, who says he's going to come back down to his natural weight? I mean, he needs to be in a big one, there's Sonny Edwards. And this could be a big one. All right, anything, let me quickly go on Mike's page. I feel like we haven't spoken enough in this video. See if there's anything. One sec, people then. No, nothing. All right, so it's a quiet one today. Again, follow me on Instagram. I will be doing loads of behind the scenes stuff when I get to the Chisora Pulev press conference. Should be fun. Anything can happen with Chisora. And I also will be doing a video just for the whole fight card. I think most of the fighters have been announced now, the opponents. I don't think Fabio Wardley, filming this at 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening, I don't think he has an opponent announced yet, which is obviously not good for him. But yeah, we'll be reviewing the whole card and giving it our scores on the doors. Peace and love.